probably going to sound dumb saying this, but I never realized that film came with a fixed ISO. And technically, you were shooting aperture priority or shutter speed priority, but in film, you would be shooting ISO priority because you would set, or it came fixed, so you were constrained by it. And sometimes when you took a picture with the film, you get noise in your shot, or sometimes you don't get noise in your shot. And that goes on to confirm a theory that I've always had, that when it comes to noise, it depends on the light that is available and not necessarily the noise level that you had in your room. Because remember, if someone was shooting with film and they couldn't change their ISO, the only two things they had was their shutter speed and their aperture. So what constituted the fact that that image was grainy or not? It's not the ISO, because they didn't change that, right? It's really not the ISO. It is the light available in the room. And if there was less light, forcing the camera to generate, or forcing the sensor to capture what is available based on your settings that you did, you would see the grain that was engraved on the film. And if there was enough light that you didn't have to use such, settings in terms of your shutter speed and your priority, your shutter speed and your aperture, you would be perfectly fine, without the noise. Am I making sense? I hope this is triggering something in your brain. So the theory that I've always had is that high ISO doesn't necessarily mean more noise all the time in your shot. If you're shooting on a bright sunny daylight, you took a picture and your ISO was like 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, whatever, and you looked at the picture, you wouldn't see the noise because there's so much light available that the particles that the sensor would have picked up to add to the noise or to the grain that you already had wouldn't be that visible. So the noise is insignificant. But in a low light situation where there wasn't enough light and you cranked up that same ISO number, forcing the camera to see the little light left, it would pick up on those particles, those light particles, and they would add to the grain that you're looking at. I really hope I'm making sense. So the point I'm saying is that with a fixed ISO level in a film shoot, and sometimes you would see noise, sometimes you wouldn't see noise. The same thing applies to our digital world, where if you have enough light, the noise wouldn't be a problem. If you don't have enough light, the noise will be that significant because you had so much low light, you had so much shadows that the noise will be visible in those shadowy areas, if you do the pixel peeping. So the advice or the point is that do not be afraid to shoot at a super high ISO if you need to, right? Because at the end of the day, as long as you have the shot, that's what really matters. You don't want to shoot underexposed and say, I'm going to crank up or increase my exposure later and make sure I get it. No. Get everything right. Capture the light that is available in your shot at the given time that you're shooting. Okay? All right. That's me ranting. See ya.